morning pod. I feel like these are the ones that mostly go off the rails when we come in here early morning.
Yeah.
We're not well rested. We're coming back from out of town.
Some of us
are fighting pollution.
Yeah, the air is bothering all of our eyes. What's going on? Welcome. My name is Jasiri X.
Impressed on every side.
Yes, and it's about to get worse, Miracle. Apparently, there's a 600-team National Guard outfit ready to swarm down on us at any moment. My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And across the table from me,
it's a miracle.
The most special.
Do my song again. Go ahead.
The
intakes. I don't know.
She want to rock right now.
Yeah.
Come on.
What Miracle? We need to short Miracle up.
We need to what?
Short Miracle. It's too many syllables. She want to rock right now. Miracle's the one she came to get down.
There you go.
And she's internationally known because they know her on the microphone. Muslims love her. Adore her. Yeah. Even the ones that never saw her. Yeah.
What's up? Mashallah, mashallah, as they say.
Alhamdulillah.
Anyways, I'm Miracle. Right now I'm miffed because it's so early.
Miracle was offered a job by a prominent Muslim, but she might take. So we'll see.
I don't know about what happened.
We'll see free speech listeners.
It's very temporary. It's very temporary.
We'll see free speech listeners. Maybe she'll be here next week. Maybe she won't. We'll see.
That's the same.
Off the greener pasture. She's off to the land of milk and honey.
I would always come back and record the podcast, or I'd bring y'all with me. We could do that. Could be a thing.
That would be great.
This Week in White Supremacy podcast as we tour the South.
Yes, I'm with it.
Yes.
And sir.
Yeah, man. Full-time supervillain, part-time hater.
Yes.
The halal heartthrob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it basic today.
Had a behaving this week.
Behaving is I'm trying because I'm not trying to lean too far into the toxic trope that's being cast upon me on the internet right now.
Is it being cast upon you?
Yeah, it's being
nothing you did.
Nothing I did. No, I just
how dare they?
Someone called my EP an intelligent crash out, and I was
interesting.
And they called it an emotionally intelligent crash out. I was like, you know what? I'll take that. And they was like, but only a toxic nigga could say this.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you're admittedly a toxic.
I'm radioactive.
I just want to say,
I'm like something that came out of Chernobyl.
We're just going to plug your EP right quick. What's it called?
Don't worry, that's part of the furniture.
Don't worry, he called me. He's like, Miracle, I make this album. It's not toxic at all.
Wow.
He's like, it's a reflection of like my life.
It is a call and response to the end of a relationship.
Song, and I was like,
No. I played you the album. This is the EP. There's only 4 tracks on the EP.
Okay. Anyways, I got to it, and I said, where does the
positivity come in?
Where is the non-toxic madness at?
All that being said, it is I put really a couple. Good. Yeah, I put some things out on Spotify. A song I did called Butterflies is going crazy right now. So alhamdulillah for that.
I feel like the man that won't leave me alone is gonna be outside my house playing that song. And like, why you ain't listening to me?
Say something. That's the movie with John Cusack. Yeah, say something.
Why you ain't answering the phone? But anyways, yes.
The conscious Kevin Samuels, is that
what? The conscious Kevin Samuels is crazy.
I'm a high value man.
Oh my day! Did you see there's a woman version of him now?
No,
she's a fitness influencer. They call her like the toxic or the evil Coco Jones.
Oh, I would. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Oh, she's cute, but she be killing people. Jesus Christ!
Wow. So a lot has happened.
So much.
We went to New Orleans. We kicked it with Free Speech TV. Shout
you
out
go to New Orleans and the world goes to shit.
Every time we leave, we get punished.
Yes. Right. So
I was not in New Orleans. For those of you who were curious of where I was,
he was not. But you were here handling business.
I was.
You were here holding it down.
That part
for One Hood. Yes. So to me, Donald Trump.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on. I just want you to start that again. For me,
Donald Trump.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, fuck Donald Trump.
Because this nigga is just jumped completely, swan dived out the fucking Overton window.
Dictator done. You know what I'm saying?
Pause. But continue.
I like a Dictator
done.
Yeah.
I mean, right, because he is clear, right? I think when you say fascism, sometimes people don't understand what that means. Like,
they understand full well what it means. They just are moving.
Right. But I would say like maybe the MAGA crowd. Like I don't think people fully understand. Sometimes you say fascism. If you ask
think
somebody,
Mussolini, they think Stalin.
Well, maybe not that. I think of that. They like. I feel like you didn't have to define it, right? But if you say dictator Don, like this man's a dictator. This is what's happening, right? But also he's distraction Don, right? Because it's still the Epstein file question is still out there. He's not. I mean, he just basically was like, it's a hoax. Get over it. People are still not over it. So he needs something to take your eye off the Epstein, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well done. Well done.
So it was, and I guess, the Obama thing, Obama, because of the law, maybe has presidential immunity, can't arrest Obama. So it's like we're going to take over Washington, D.C. Now, all this started because somebody assaulted Big Balls. Okay. All of this started over Big Balls.
Some niggas like that shit. I'm not one of them, but
like the Big Balls beating up. Where have we gone already? I told you early morning episodes.
We're not even 10 minutes in.
Yes. So a Trump administration staffer known as Big Balls.
Big Balls is crazy.
Was assaulted in D.C. His name is Edward Kornstein. He played a key role in the early days of
I gotta look this nigga up.
It said
Edward Kornstein?
He was attacked, apparently trying to stop an apparent carjacking. If you want me to believe this 19-year-old Doge dude tried to stop a carjacking, right? I don't even know if he even was assaulted, but I know for sure this man did not try to jump in and stop no damn carjacking and then just get beat up.
I'm looking at him right now.
If you're jacking a car, then you're going to do that with a gun. And if you have a gun, why beat the man up? You know what I'm saying? Really.
Remember when Ken was in D.C. and they shot him?
Yes.
They took his Lamborghini.
It says he was assaulted by approximately, okay, so here we go. All right.
This nigga ain't stopping nothing.
Look, a little bit of fighting now.
No, it said he was assaulted by approximately 10 juveniles. What were they carjacking? A fucking van? If it's 10 of them,
they was getting a Sprinter. They was getting a Mercedes Sprinter.
Okay, I mean, God forbid kids have hobbies. Okay, like we want kids to make friends. There's a whole male loneliness epidemic. God forbid men have friends.
Juveniles of DC, find out who's working for Doge and go whoop their ass.
I'm looking at this nigga right now, this nigga.
It says
juveniles of GC or B613.
It says police arrested two 15-year-olds that attempted to flee the scene. A black iPhone 16 was also reportedly stolen during the incident. Whatever. So Donald Trump posted this photo of the Big Balls.
Please stop.
Blood splattered on his face, and this caused Donald Trump to go into
beating up Big Balls and blood splattered on his face.
Yes.
There's so much to unpack from that, Remington.
Yeah.
First off, the alliteration is fucking crazy.
And again.
Secondly, the fact that he's hemorrhaging. What's he going? Ice his balls and spit up blood now? Like, what?
So it says, this was an Elon Musk claim. I guess it's Elon Musk's friend. A gang of about a dozen men tried to assault a woman in her car, and a Doge member saw that happening and ran to defend her.
These are alternative
bullshit.
Facts. No, it's not.
He was probably down there trying to buy some weed or some other drugs. He probably down there trying to buy some drugs.
Yeah, and they seen it as a lick.
Yeah. Either seen it or tried to talk slick, or seen it as like, yo, let's just run this dude's pocket.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to defend no woman.
No, man.
Get the hell out of here. Anyway, this incident, right? One white man beating up too many. You know what I'm saying? Hey, one thing, you can rob stores, you can kill other black people, but don't you dare.
Don't touch no white.
Don't you dare touch my big balls. Don't you dare.
If he keeps this up, I'm walking off the set. There's only so much I can take.
That's what Big Balls said.
Pause.
That's what Big Balls said. There was only so much he could take. There was only so much beating to Big Balls.
I think I'm the only person here at the table who could understand that sentiment, right? And so I get it. I fully understand. Everybody has their break point. Everybody's like, you know what? I thought I could handle this, but I can't.
Where was his safe word, Miracle? Apparently, he forgot it.
Christ.
Apparently, he forgot his safe word.
That's the cervix too far?
Oh, my God. Apparently, So
sometimes you got to ease into it. Okay?
This calls. Oh yes.
Not everyone knows. It's about pressure and not force. Okay.
Got you. So,
Oh, you know.
Listen, the podcast has changed now. This weekend. Anyway,
this week in sexual education.
So
everyone needs to know.
Everybody needs to know.
So Donald Trump deployed the National Guard to Washington D.C. to federalize the city police. So then Donald Trump went on Truth Social. We're going to have this major announcement coming up. Can you play the clip of Donald Trump contradicting his own self when he came to talk about why he wants to federalize the D.C. police force?
Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. No, Eddie's very talented. Crime is down in Washington, D.C. Street crime, violent crime by 25%. And people have seen, they've noticed a big difference.
And the murder rates are plummeting. We are now able to report that the murder rate is on track to be the lowest in U.S. history, in modern recorded U.S. history, thanks to this team behind me and President Trump's priorities.
So it says, again, that was the head of the FBI.
Kash Patel.
Right. That was him at the press conference. So if homicides are down so much, right, if violent crime is down, that was Trump in May talking about how safe DC is. Why then would you need to bring in 800 National Guards, particularly when they needed you to bring in the National Guard
for January 6th?
On January 6th, you did not, you let 100 police officers be beaten up. I wonder how the police, I wonder if, do the police see this as some type of infringement on their rights? I don't know.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I think the thing that's just the most interesting to me, and this is a national conversation, and I think all of us have said this in different forms nationally, is if crime is down, the response is more police. If crime is up, the response is more police.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Clearly, police are not the answer.
Yes.
Clearly, police are not aiding in dropping crime in any form or fashion. It is the work of community organizers. It is the work of a lot of concerned citizens who are concerned with improving their communities, right? Police do not prevent crime. They respond to it. And in these situations right now, we're going to get into this, you don't have policing. You have a police state. You have martial law. You have a dictatorship. You have authoritarian military force.
Because Trump is saying he's seizing control of the D.C. police force, and he's bringing in federal officers, National Guards, 800 National Guardsmen. So he's taking over.
I mean, we've seen the videos of the FBI just walking through the streets. Man was on his stoop. They asked for his ID. He's like, I live here.
Yeah. I mean, when it was, here's the New York Times. The heart of D.C. was in a state of lawlessness. Roving mobs of wild men smashed windows, threatened murder, and attacked the police. One rioter struck an officer in the face with a baton. Another threw a chair at police officers and pepper sprayed them. Others beat and used a stun gun on an officer, nearly killing him.
And this is January 6th.
On January 6, 2021, a pro-Trump mob committed a month's worth of crime in a span of 3 hours. And what did Trump do? He freed every single one of them.
Pardoned them, everything. They were shitting on the walls.
He freed all of them.
Miracle. They went to the cap. They shit on the walls.
We have moved.
Clearly, we have not. They moved their bowels.
You don't.
That's what they did.
Yeah, but you don't care about roving gangs of criminals, because if you did, you wouldn't have pardoned all of them, many of whom have already been arrested and are back in prison.
And this is what's crazy. It just shows that white people don't commit crime. They just exercise liberties.
Oh, that's a great one.
Say that again.
White people do not commit crime. They exercise liberties.
Yes. Miracle.
I apologize. The allergies are best.
Yeah, me too.
Now.
Me too.
What I want to say is first to remind people that federal crimes, DC, because it's not a state, right?
Right.
It is under federal authority. So anytime you get a crime, it's automatically like a felony because it's under the federal jurisdiction, right?
Oh.
So these videos of you see police officers walking up to black men who are literally just sitting on their porch, not committing crimes, are literally having their liberties threatened by officers who have this mandate to, and as they said, not because people are committing crimes, because Donald Trump is just tired of seeing certain things, right?
Yes.
This idea that you can be facing incarceration because the president just doesn't want to see you is high key very racist, but problematic. And I think that a lot of people go, oh, it's just Donald Trump. But what happens when it's the next president, right? What happens when there's somebody who's like, I just don't want to see MAGA folks outside, or I just don't want to see cowboy boots outside, or if I just don't want to see, people in camo outside, right? This idea that your safety can literally be jeopardized because of white discomfort is something that we really have to talk about, because all of the crime statistics are showing across the country a drop in crime, particularly in black neighborhoods, places where black folks have been living, because there has been a demand for investment in black communities.
Right.
And that's one of the first things that Trump cut. Trump cut a lot of this investment to stop gun violence.
He did.
And seems to be upset that it's still working, even though he has defunded community supports and investments, right?
Yes.
Because people have still stepped up to support each other. And I also want to point out, because a couple videos have gone viral about these police officers, just because a kind police officer is talking to someone does not negate the fact that he is still a police officer who has been afforded the ability to arrest, detain, and even kill someone. And this idea that black people should just be okay with having officers deployed in their communities is the utmost example of liberal white supremacy.
Come on.
This idea that, oh yes, there's an officer who has a gun and all this type of stuff.
But he's not one of the bad ones.
He just says, if you and your boy want to have a zip, you and your boy got to go inside. That's still someone who looks like a soldier coming and disturbing your law and order, disturbing your community, and threatening you just for a week. This idea that black people have always have to be subjugated in order for white people to feel safe is something that we have never really addressed, and now it's just normalized. And I can't, again, my favorite topic, I can't just say it's Republicans, because when Black Lives Matter was out here demanding for our lives to matter, what did all these Democratic mayors do and all these Democratic governors do? They brought in the National Guard, right? So you literally can't be like, hey, Trump, you're bringing in these federal police when all these blue, vote blue no matter who, folks did the same thing. I would have liked when these youth got arrested, I personally would have liked Trump to sit down with them. He sat down with the January 6ers. He sat down with all these other people who were out here just stealing and ravaging our resources.
Those individuals were white, Miracle.
Correct.
They were exercising their liberties.
But I do think if he could have the same tough guy act, he could have sat down with these kids and had this same conversation. Why y'all out here fighting people? Why are you out here hitting up big balls? Like, those are my guys. Like, leave my guys alone, right? I think that would have been a better opportunity than what we're seeing right now. Because
of course,
a lot of these white folks are now upset because you saw all these soldiers or police officers marching down. They're like, oh, this is bad for business. See these uniformed officers, nobody wants to come sit outside and eat their avocado toast and drink their Moscato when you have officers outside just looking like they about to run wild.
But you made a great point about the fact that under Joe Biden, remember Joe Biden, and I know you like to to kick this man who's already down, Miracle, but Joe Biden
did down because he is not out.
Oh
not yet.
Shit.
He is not down. Listen,
but Joe Biden did open up the gun violence prevention office and donated hundreds of millions of dollars. The current DOJ cut all of that funding. The United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, I think her name is Janine Prio, who Trump saw on Fox News and thought, hey, this person would be a great attorney general. They asked her directly if it was about gun violence. Why would you cut the gun violence money? Can you play that clip, Farouk?
Yeah.
Time? That means it's had enough. Goodbye. Thank you. I want you to report on it.
But you said it's guns. You said it's guns on the street that's causing this problem. Are you concerned that the DOJ's funding cuts to gun violence prevention programs undermine the effort?
Stop it. We are putting all kinds of resources onto the street.
Yeah.
But what about the gun aspect of the gun violence?
National Guard, if you want to classify them as a resource, okay.
And that was the most chaotic interview. And I think it goes to show you that these folks, again, like I said before, this administration has weaponized ignorance as cover for their violence.
That's why I was saying dictator Don, like, because again, you're so ignorant, like fascism, you might not understand that, right? This man is trying to take shit over.
Correct.
But they have weaponized ignorance. All he does is like all the New York Times has a whole article where they just broke down all the stuff Trump was saying was not factually correct about DC being one of the most violent capitals in the world. That's just not true. All of these things are not true. And he just lies to you. Oh, he just lied. Oh, we have the hottest economy. Our economy is the greatest in the world. He just tells lie after lie after lie. You cats don't try to fact check it. Like you said, ignorant people just going to take his word for it. But if Joe Biden said we're going to take over motherfucking Alabama, these same people be going crazy. Yeah. Oh, they're trying to take over. They're going to take our guns. How dare the government interference? Wasn't the Republicans supposed to be the party of limited federal government?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So now when Trump does this, and then Trump is not only saying he's going to stop at DC, right? He's saying he's putting together some 600-person National Guard task force ready to move in all these cities.
Right. Now, is that 600 per city? 600 per major city?
Yes. To deploy under emergencies. Well, again, the emergencies is a bunch of teenagers whooped on big balls. That's the emergency? Big balls got beaten up, so that's an emergency, right? So then what's the emergency for them to come to Pittsburgh? Or he specifically mentioned the only cities he happened to mention, ironically, if you want to get that clip ready, Farouk, were cities that had black mayors, right? He mentioned, well, New York, I mean, I guess he qualifies as black.
Don't tell him that.
Oakland, California.
He's Dominican,
Baltimore,
Turkish, Spanish, Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Thankfully, he'll be gone
Irish.
Shortly.
He cracks me up. You know, he has every ethnicity in him. And I kind of love.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
I kind of love how every nationality day he like, they say.
I'm a little bit Dominican. No one says that but you, nigga. Like,
I'd be like, sir, go. Okay, Eric Adams, like, go ahead, just say you're just everything to all people.
Yeah. Play that clip, please, sir, because the mayor of Baltimore came in with some ether for Donald Trump in his words.
Bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone.
DC's violent crime is at a 30-year low. And quite frankly, that's the case for cities around the country. I think it's very notable that each and every one of the cities called out by the president has a black mayor. And most of those cities are seeing historic lows in violent crime. In my city, in Baltimore, we have the fewest amount of homicides through this date on record. That's 50 years, a 50-year low. Maybe we are too far gone from the broken right-wing policies of zero tolerance policing and all the things that did not make our city safer for all those many years. But we know that having the military there is not the way to do it. The way to drive down violence in cities has been proving. Mayors across the country have brought together law enforcement, the legal community, the actual community, the community violence intervention work to reduce violence across this country and cities to lows that we have not seen in decades. The president could learn a lot from us instead of throwing things at us.
What do you think? Because I know there's been conversations that part of the reason is doing this, and according to the law, like Trump could take over DC for 30 days, according to what the law says. It's like Home Rule Act. People are saying that he's doing this because there are going to be some additional announcements that Trump has coming on the way. Again, clearly dictator Don has, I mean, it's really like what
were these additional announcements?
So we don't know what they are, but it's like if you're going to make
policing
these,
and
we don't know what they're around, but it's like if you're going to make these announcements and they may be controversial, maybe you want your people in the streets, lest some people try to rally. For instance, one of them is, according to reports, Ghislaine Maxwell
She got
is
the
now
furlough.
maybe
She got the furlough.
eligible for work release. Again, you care about crime, right? Here is somebody who we know, right, participated in getting children involved in sex acts, right?
Yeah.
Got over 20 years in prison because of this. This is a child sex trafficker, right? All of y'all QAnon folks, this was supposed to be, oh, you got to stop the child sex trafficking ring. You got to stop it. Now, your man, Donald Trump, wants to free the most notorious sex trafficker alive, child sex trafficker, in Ghislaine Maxwell, who assisted Jeffrey Epstein. We know all of this, right? It says President Trump's... I love how this is written. This is the HuffPost. President Donald Trump's child sex trafficking friend, Ghislaine Maxwell, appears to be eligible for work release assignments outside of the minimum.
I just want to know what job is she fulfilling? Like, is she trafficking more children?
Again,
like, is that what she's going to do?
I mean, that's what she's
She's going to
good
be
at.
in car parks just snatching up children from parents and luring them into Sprinter vans.
That's what she's good at.
With
you know what I'm saying?
champagne and Molly.
Right, but Big Balls gets beaten up is the thing. But like, you can free a child sex trafficking person. It says she appears to be eligible for work release assignments outside the minimum security camp she was transferred to after meeting with Trump's former defense lawyer, who is now a top Department of Justice official. Maxwell's Bureau of Prisons classifications show her custody status as quote unquote out, which would normally mean she is permitted to work outside the federal prison camp in Bryland, Texas, where she is being held. That is a privilege that convicted sex offenders are not permitted under the Bureau's own rules. Miracle.
I don't know why you talking to me. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why?
Legally. I mean, clearly, this reeks of,
Nepotism.
Well, a deal has been made, right? A deal has been made, because why else would you move her from a maximum security prison where you would think you would want a convicted child sex trafficker to be in maximum security prison? You move her to minimum security prison. They ask you why. Nobody says anything why. Now she could qualify for work release? Was she going to be up in the White House? In the Oval Office?
She might be. I mean, she might be a talent scout.
Red shirt and the wrong people. But I do think that we are seeing in real time when people were talking about we need to drain this swamp. We need to drain this swamp.
Yes.
There's too much nepotism. There's too much corruption.
Yes.
We are literally seeing it in real time and unable to do anything about it.
Right.
Because if Trump wants to pardon her, he can. If he's already sent her to different facilities, so she has a cushier, prison is not cushy, but she has a cushier, place to spend the rest of her time.
Club Fed is where they call the place that she's at, Club Fed.
And now work release meaning she gets to leave the prison
Yes.
She'd be out for 8 hours a day. Yeah.
Yes.
and do whatever job they have found for her. I think it just goes to show again that we do not take sexual violence seriously in this country.
Nope.
That if Trump is someone who did something inappropriately, there's no mechanism to hold him accountable for it.
Wait, let me just change that. There's one word that you put in there.
I said
You put if. We know he has.
I think that when it gets released, it is going to when all this information comes out, it's just going to show that people do not care.
True.
And that nothing is going to happen.
We still haven't really seen. We know our Congress person Summer Lee talked about. We still haven't seen a lot of conversations with the victims. Right.
Yeah.
It says Maxwell was indicted for trafficking girls as young as 14.
Yeah, I was reading the thing now.
Into the world of sexual predation and abuse with Maxwell's help. She was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2022. You were saying, Fruit.
Yeah. There's so much to be said about all of this, and it's echoing Miracle sentiment about people not taking sexual violence serious in this country.
Yes.
When you have Hollywood and the Olympics, and you have a lot of these people, even in the Penn State situation, remember with Joe Paterno, there's a lot of these people who have not been awarded the opportunity to speak and address their assaulters, and they are losing ground by the day, because every time a Ghislaine Maxwell, or this situation that happened with Puff, even though that's a whole different conversation legally versus morally.
People know him now as Diddy.
It's Diddy. What this does for victims is just this monumental disservice, and everybody is now 15 years behind this national conversation of believing survivors,
yes,
right? and in survivors' rights, and what trauma survivors have to go through, and why they oftentimes do not name their accuser.
Yes.
Right. And this is just because you're rewarding the assaulter, you're rewarding the predator. All these times that people are witnessing this, it's putting survivors back in their trauma. It's putting survivors back in a state of depression or a state of fear. And what message does this send to people? Right. I think that's the question I would ask, because it's like, we're all adults at this table. We all probably know multiple people who have been sexually assaulted.
Yes. The message it sends, Farouk, is if you are wealthy, right, if you are super wealthy and you have access to the best lawyers and all of this money, that you will not pay for your crimes, right? And that was the whole thing around Epstein. It was supposed to be, these Epstein files were supposed to finally bring to justice, quote unquote justice, right?
Yeah.
These elite, and when I say elite, I mean these elite, multi-millionaire, super powerful, right? Former presidents, millionaires, billionaires,
royalty.
These people who went to this island, celebrities, right? That went to this island and knew who Jeffrey Epstein, right? Trump knew who Epstein was. And to his own admission, he stole one of my girls, right? He knew what Epstein was about, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole idea was that Trump was going to come in, and that the swamp, right? Who's the swamp made out of? These well-connected politicians, celebrities, and super wealthy people, they would finally be brought to justice for their crimes, like the little people get brought to justice. And that not only hasn't happened, but now it looks like the most notorious of the current, because Jeffrey Epstein, if he would have lived, he probably would be out. You know what I'm saying? But, he supposed, and we don't know how he died. Right. But now the most notorious child sex trafficker we know is now moved from a maximum security prison to work release. And so again, for these MAGA folks or these QAnon folks, like, how do you explain this? Now we know they'll try to do some type of mental gymnastics. Now she's going to be the one to tell on all these people. I mean, come on now, so anyway, what was fascinating about the whole conversation around DC is on X, we know it as Twitter, y'all call it X. X has an AI bot. What's his name? Grok.
Yeah.
Grok that you can ask questions to. So somebody asked Grok who the most notorious criminal in Washington, D.C. was.
What did Grok say?
In a essentially the post, Grok wrote, yes, violent crime in D.C. has declined 26% year to date in 2025, hitting a 30-year low per MPD and DOJ data. As for the most notorious criminal there, based on convictions and notoriety, it's President Donald Trump.
Jesus Christ.
Convicted on 34 felonies in New York, with the verdict upheld in January 2025. So why was that deleted?
That's a great question.
Why was that post deleted? Like, did Grok tell lies? Anyway.
Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies, man.
Grok also apparently was taken offline. Grok was in the truth telling.
Yeah.
Listen.
Grok's the internet's magic 8-ball now.
Grok had a day. Grok said today. I don't know about yesterday.
I got time.
I don't know about yesterday, but today.
I got time. Yeah.
Today I got time for some truth, right? So apparently Grok was suspended on August 11th. And so they asked Grok, hey Grok, why were you suspended? According to Grok,
wait! Don't laugh this time, because you not want you eat up in the comments.
I'm sorry. I find some of this ironic. It's not funny. You know what I'm saying? It says Grok itself claimed in now deleted post. Hey yo, why y'all censoring Grok? The party of free speech can't let Grok get his bars off. Free speech party. Grok claimed in now deleted post that the suspension was due to comments it made accusing Israel and the U.S. of committing genocide in Gaza, citing sources like the International Court of Justice rulings, UN report, Amnesty International, and is it BT Selam? I know that's an Israeli human rights organization. These posts were flagged for violating X's hateful conduct rules. Comments?
Let's just move on to the next one.
No, this idea that like we said, I think this
Grok is telling the truth and getting deleted. Can we talk about
that? This is
they took Grok offline. Yeah. They were like, "Yo, we got to take your whole." Grok is accessing information again. We know, not to cut you off, Miracle. Again, these are not only international human rights groups, but human rights groups inside of Israel that are Israeli human rights groups. Now, again, there's a whole conversation about why we couldn't have just listened to Palestinians in the first place, right? Why, when Palestinians were telling us years ago what was happening in Palestine, we couldn't just listen to them. Why it took for a famine to happen right before our eyes for us to finally agree what's taking place. So that's a whole nother conversation, but we see what's going on. Like it's very clear what's happening. So the fact that Grok is like what an AI does, it pulled from already existing information. It's telling the truth. Donald Trump is the most notorious criminal in DC. That's a fact, right? Yeah. What we see Israel doing in Gaza, it's a fact. It's not for.
Yeah, these are alternative facts.
This isn't like what are you gonna say now? Particularly, I mean, we just saw the entire press team from Al Jazeera targeted and killed. Not just like, oh, you know, they happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right. Yeah. This was a coordinated strike.
This was a targeted strike. This is not. It's not. Hey, bro, when you see the chart, the bar graph in terms of the amount of journalists that have been, it's not even close. This is a war crime.
It is.
They have a big thing on that says press.
Right.
That press bulletproof vest is supposed to prevent them from being targeted. Not being targeted, but again, if you're targeting hospitals, if you're targeting universities, if you're targeting churches, not even mosques, churches too, and then you're targeting journalists. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time Al Jazeera has been targeted, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we see, why would you not want them? And this is the last thing I'll say. And this is why when you hear Netanyahu say we're going to take over Gaza, people were saying, I mean, you want, like, when you've committed a crime, and these are it's no question that these are crimes.
Yeah.
You want to sanitize the crime scene. Like, why would you want to take over Gaza so then you can, because bro, when you talk about the number of 50,000, it's so many people still under the rubble,
right,
that have not even been counted yet. So you want to get in there and try to sanitize this thing, and the last thing you would want is somebody reporting on what's actually happening there. You have something you want to say?
Yeah. I have a lot, actually, because when I seen that, it kind of resonated with me for a lot of different reasons. So firstly, let me say, you know, may Allah be pleased with the sacrifices of all the journalists that were murdered in Gaza by the Israeli forces. I think as people at this table who use our word, use what we do journalistically to report on injustices, not just nationally but abroad.
Yes.
This sets a terrifying precedence, because what Israel is doing is, like you said, they're commandeering a narrative and they're using violence to sanitize. I love how you put that. They're using violence to sanitize their atrocities, their war crimes. What this does, in synchronicity with Donald Trump's deployment of the armed guards in Washington, D.C., it sets a very dangerous precedent for people who are observing atrocities, who are observing wrongdoings, who are living through it and are attempting to take their narrative to social media. We see everything happening in Gaza. We see everything happening in Washington, D.C., in Congo, in Sudan,
right,
as it occurs. This isn't some week later doctored footage that we're getting, right? And I think us as black people in the States, we know this all too well. We've seen this happen with the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
We've seen this happen with Attica. We've seen this happen with the Nation of Islam. We've seen this happen with COINTELPRO.
Yeah.
We've seen this happen in the 90s, and we've seen this happen with Reagan era. We've seen this happen with the hip-hop police.
Yeah.
Right? This is something we are all too accustomed to dealing with. And as it occurs, it is a consistent nightmare for black and brown people.
Absolutely.
As we walk out the house and just face police presence trying to go to work.
Yeah.
Trying to get a coffee, trying to go get groceries or pick up your children.
Just trying to live.
And I look at this as, what if this is us? What if this week in white supremacy is deemed too radical, or like, you know, and again, that's not,
it's probably coming, brother.
it's not beyond the stretch of imagination for us to be targeted, right?
Absolutely
Maybe not with bullets and such, but injunctions and legalities.
100%.
You know, we've already seen things of this sort as just walking down the street in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
We get it all the time.
Yes.
We walk around with the same protection with bulletproof vests on and everything because of the way people who were reporting on this were treated in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yes. Again, I mean, when you see journalists being outright murdered,
yeah,
and it hasn't been,
there's no recompense for it.
well, it's like where's the outcry? I mean, here, I just want, before I come to you, this was today, right? This was with Netanyahu. It says, this is from PBS News.
Yeah.
It says, Netanyahu wants to realize United States President Donald Trump's vision of relocating much of Gaza's population of over 2 million people through what the prime minister refers to as, quote, voluntary migration, and what critics have warned could be ethnic cleansing.
And yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He says, quote, give them the opportunity to leave, first from combat zones and also from the strip if they want. We're not pushing them out, but allowing them to leave. So if you are allowing them to leave, that would mean you have control over this place, right? So again, you are in control. You have control over this place by your own mouth. I mean, if Netanyahu came out and said, oh, if we wanted to commit genocide, we could have done it in the afternoon. Okay, if that's what you believe, then what you're saying is then the enemy isn't that big of a threat. If you're so militarily superior that you can wipe out an entire population in an afternoon, that means that those people isn't that big of a threat to you. And again, just like you said, you made a great, there's no threat to Donald Trump or white people in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
What, because big balls got beat up?
Right.
There's no threat. Really, we're the ones who are under the threat, because we're the ones that got to walk outside. We're the ones being killed by police.
And it's not just the police. It's ICE also. The threat of deportation, right? And like there's this multi-pronged attack that is happening, and people were so quick to say, talk about America's superiority because we have democracy, right? So-called.
Yes.
Why does America look like Myanmar? Why does America look like all of these countries that you call so-called third world countries or developing nations with their police states? Why is it America doing their best impression of all of these places simultaneous right now?
Listen to this. You speak of ICE. A federal court said, right, and this is, again, unanimously ruled, right, that pretending to look a bit foreign is not reasonable suspicion enough to justify an ICE stop. Right. This is what ICE is saying. Looking foreign is reason enough to stop you.
What does that even mean? What is looking? What is the definition of looking
not
forward?
White.
Not white, right?
Not
because
white,
they put out defend your culture.
Yes.
That was the recruiting call for ICE on Twitter.
Yes.
Defend your culture.
Defend your culture with pictures of white people.
With what? Yeah. Yes. So like we already know looking foreign.
Yes.
There is something that is inherently wrong with that statement.
Right. Right.
Because you were saying that there is an American stereotype, American ethnotype,
yes,
that we are not checking for.
And again, and not to go to Miracle's right, and I'm coming to you, Miracle, but Miracle was saying, right? Because really, that Israel would argue that that's what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Defending their culture, right? Wanting to keep Israel Jewish, right?
Yeah.
So now if that's okay for Israel to do, to create this state where you have to be Jewish in order to access all of its laws, and anybody not Jewish can't access any of those laws, now the United States can, and it already has been, but can be very open about creating a state where you have to be white to access all of the laws and privileges. Now, we already knew that, right? As black people.
That's what I said at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
White people do not commit crimes, they exercise liberties.
Exactly. So, but now the Trump admin, now they're being very clear that we want white people to join ICE to arrest all these others and get them up out of here. Miracle?
So I think it's very important to think about, we are in the time of Black August, right? We are the time
Come on, Miracle.
where we are supposed to be thinking about liberation and concentration on our community's freedoms and thinking about what does it mean to live and thrive. When I look at the 5 Al Jazeera journalists murdered, I think of Amin Jamal. I think of Ida B. Wells. And I think of all the journalists, particularly black and brown journalists, particularly labor journalists, who have been targeted, murdered, killed, assassinated, and arrested for, talking about the truth. Even, there have been I forget the man's name, the white journalist who talked about the crack era and how the United States was flooding crack into black neighborhoods, right? Mm-hmm. So the assault on journalists is not new. The targeting of journalists is not new. When your enemy is the truth, you have to kill the truth tellers, and those are the journalists, right?
Absolutely.
Those are also the people who are living in the belly of the beast, who are trying to fight and organize against oppression and violence. None of this is normal. I think that's the most important thing for us to understand is all of this violence, all of this chaos is not normal. And that is why billionaires are literally pushing millions of dollars to break us and to make us think that violence is just a way of life. But violence is abnormal. Violence and murder and death is abnormal to our way of life. We should not be this disconnected from each other or even the environment. We're dealing here in Pittsburgh with the fallout of another, explosion at the local plant that is now disrupting our air and impacting our ability to breathe. This is not normal, right? Genocide is not normal, whether in Gaza or the Sudan, Congo, or in Haiti. None of this is okay, and none of this is normal. And I think that is the most important thing for us to remember, right? And so as we're mobilizing and reading and thinking about George Jackson and thinking about how do we get to liberation, it's foremost, we must center the fact that we all deserve life. Mm-hmm. We all deserve self-determination, and we all deserve to be able to live and breathe without the fear of state violence. We are literally seeing in real time how state violence can be weaponized based on white tears and white fear when we look at DC. But we also have to look at what's going on with ICE. ICE is out here grabbing people up. Yep. They ran through Emiliano's here at Pittsburgh and destroyed the restaurant, right?
Yes,
and for no reason. If you need to pick people, you don't need to be turned over tabletops, right? Act like you Jesus to the temple. You need to just grab people and go. And it is the violence and the cruelty that they're trying to make because they're trying to break us, because they understand that what they are doing is abnormal. What they're doing is bringing disorder and chaos to our communities. And so as we are here as Black people, all of these systems are designed and created to break us, to harm us, to steal our resources, and to make us feel like we are alone. But we are not alone. The power of the people will always be greater than the people in power. And when we look at Pittsburgh, only less than 30% of the people have even voted in the last 2 elections.
Right.
That's not okay, right? So many people have been so disenfranchised that they are just removed from the system. And now is the time to wake up. now is a time to not sit back. Now is a time to organize and mobilize and look to our ancestors and look to our elders and understand that there are ways for us to get free. There are ways for us to have liberation. You know, the Black Panthers feeding people, right? The Black Panthers having medical clinics for free for people in the community. You know, the Deacons for Self-Defense taught us how to defend ourselves against state violence and terror, because the Klan at one point had all levels of the government, right? And so there are blueprints for us to support ourselves, to protect ourselves, and to be there for our neighbors that we had to look out, because this violence is not going to stop until we force it and make it stop.
You're absolutely right. And it just, again, we're at this point where we do have to go back to those really kind of getting together for our own communities and kind of doing things collectively ourselves. Because again, when you see the federal government, all of these grants that people had that were connected to Black issues, they're gone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're about to do this whole thing with the Smithsonian, right? So what was the African American Museum? All of that stuff probably is going to be gone, right? The language is going to be changed around like what America actually did, right? So all of this is gone. I mean, Trump has been attacking journalists since he's gotten into office, right? So again, the next step from attacking journalists is arresting journalists and then killing journalists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is what we've seen happen. So it'll be fascinating to see if what, you know, again, if Netanyahu is able to do what he wants to do with Donald Trump's help in Gaza. I mean, again, it will be confirmation of what everybody said from the very beginning. And I guess we'll see what happens with, you know, the Ukraine. Trump is meeting with Putin. We don't know if Zelensky's going to be at the meeting. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But we're seeing the forces of white supremacy come together in such a blatant way. Just like you said, when you say defend the culture.
Right.
This is very blatant. So those folks we don't get them emails much anymore, right? There's no such thing as white supremacy.
Yeah.
How dare you? I did want to know, Farouk, if you wanted to say a few words about your Lebanese brother, Roland. What is this?
Why do I feel like I'm being pranked right now?
Roland Bieni, I think is his name. One of the owners of a local burger chain named Trump Burger. Who was
he's Lebanese? Yeah,
who
tracks.
now is facing
that tracks.
Now he's facing potential deportation from the United States for allegedly making inaccurate statements on his immigration application. So it says he doesn't have any immigration benefits that prevented his arrest or removal from the United States. So he started Trump Burgers. And I'm probably pronouncing his last name wrong. It's Beainy.
Wait, say it again.
Beainy. So I don't.
Beainy.
Beainy. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So
what do you want me to say about him?
He's opened a Trump Burger. I don't know if he thought that putting Trump's name all over his burger shop will prevent him from being removed from the country.
So what I would like to say to my Lebanese countrymen, whether you are a Christian or whether you are Muslim, it doesn't matter. La ilaha illallah. There is only one God. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
All this Trump worship, this shirk, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Say it with me, my brother. Oh, now
you definitely want to get us right.
Protect yourself from Satan. Reject it. It's shaitan. Yeah. Right? That's all I got to say, man. May Allah bless you, my brother.
Yeah, you definitely want to get us up out of here. Last thing, it's interesting. So Trump apparently picked another person for the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commission.
Not a black woman.
Oh, absolutely.
We know it's not a black woman.
This guy, EJ and Tony, was one of the people that was the architects of Project 2025. But basically, the reason he was picked because he basically said, we're just going to suspend the monthly jobs report.
Of course. Yeah.
You ain't going to fire me by giving you some bad numbers.
We're not going to get no stats.
No stats.
Hey, what's the jobs looking like? Couldn't tell you.
Don't know. We don't know.
Is niggas working? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know, man. We know who is working. Who? ICE.
Yeah. Yeah.
The National Guard.
You know who else is working?
Who?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
Work release.
She working, man.
Oh my God.
What a world we live in right now.
It is a fascinating time. It is a time where so much is happening. It was good to kind of go to New Orleans and at least get be able to have conversations with people who share similar ideas as you. I mean, that was kind of cool, but other than that, it's pretty dire situation. And again, I mean, I guess we'll see in all of this, and this is kind of the thing that's kind of scary, is like we can't really point to like here's the Democrats plan of
I mean, bruv.
We can't even say, oh, but at least the Democrats are doing such and so.
We are on our own. We are on Survivor.
It said Chuck Schumer's favorability is at his lowest point in 20 years among New Yorkers. Again, all of this stuff for you to respond to, and it's like, where Schumer, Hakeem,
I was just about
Corey,
to say, can I say
where
something?
Are y'all?
Can I was watching MSNBC a lot this past week, right? And I just, in my soul, in my nafs, I just gotta say something.
Yes.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yes.
My fellow beige brother. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up, nigga. Like, I'm tired of seeing your bald-headed, Mr. Clean ass pandering to these motherfuckers every time I turn around.
Yeah.
You step and fetch ass nigga. Yeah. Sit down, man.
Yeah,
I can't stand this nigga. It's like between him and Eric Adams, I don't know who I want to fuck up more.
Yeah. Allegedly, yes. I mean, again, it's just,
I said what I said.
You know what it is there's no like united message. It's not like Democrats have this one message of like, okay, here are the 4 things that we're going to focus on.
I mean, did you see Richie Torres trying to shit on Zoran on the other day?
But it's because Richie Torres is somebody that's getting a lot of money from AIPAC.
It's just, like you said, there's no united Democratic message. But
right, because you have a group of Democrats that also want to remain friendly with AIPAC and Netanyahu.
That is why we say campaign finance. If we get money out of politics, then people are no longer beholden to these billionaires, whether they are Republican billionaires or Democrat billionaires. I think a lot of times when people see us advocating for campaign finance, they think, you're only talking about the NRA, you're only talking about AIPAC. We're like, no, we want none of it, right? If all of it's gone, right? If all of it's gone, then we do not have to worry about politicians pretending that our communities do not exist. If these billionaires who write the rules, who write the legislation, do not have access, then our quality of life changes. I talk to people all the time because they're like, oh, you just care about the genocide. I'm like, no, do you understand that Southwest Airlines stopped us from having high-speed rail? So we look at our inability to travel. Our inability to travel, our inability to just like hop on a train and go somewhere. When we talk about, let's look at Japan or let's look at Europe, their transit is so much easier, so faster, so
Large up Eurostar, they brought their service back for 100%. Large up Eurostar.
We could have that in the United States, but for Southwest, right? And now Southwest is charging people for bags, talking about, sometimes their planes may not be able to fly. We have planes falling out the sky, right? And we're forced to deal with this nightmare of a a transportation secretary who doesn't know what he's doing because of Southwest, right? Yeah. So it's not just genocides that these billionaires have, created. It's also our ability to have housing, our ability to have education, our ability to have schools, our ability to have jobs, our abilities to just exist. They have stolen these things from us, and so if we get dark money, I have a problem with calling it dark, but if we get this money out of politics, then we don't have to worry about that, and then we can have life-sustaining policies that we can vote for and be happy about.
Yeah, I mean, it was a whole thing. In fact, Zoran's last like post about Cuomo was part of it. Like Cuomo established this consulting firm and won't release the list of his clients.
Yeah.
Like, okay, who are you consulting with? Who are you helping? Which has been pretty fascinating. But like you said, Miracle, I mean, it's really about people that can subvert these races, these political races, and don't have to show their hand as to who's really doing it or why. And to me, that's what's wrong about the way the political process works. So maybe we'll get, I don't know, maybe soon, but our white pages today, it's probably something we need. Fugitive pedagogy, right?
Man.
When we're all on the run, Fugitive Pedagogy, Carter G. Woodson and the Art of Black Teaching is our book. Fugitive Pedagogy addresses the history of black education into new territory. Given unveils a far more complex portrait of Carter G. Woodson than we have seen. Carter G. Woodson, the founder of, it was, I think, Black History Week, became Black History Month. So Fugitive Pedagogy, Jarvis R. Givens, that's our white pages. We got Fridays on Deck.
We do have Fridays
Back on deck. Back in East Liberty.
Yeah.
Liberty Green. For those familiar with Fridays on Deck, catch us this Friday, 7 to 9?
6 to 9.
6 to 9.
6 to 9, yes.
Is the time. Is no comment.
Big balls, 6 to 9.
They said they're going to give Big Balls the same medal as Rosa Parks. Again.
I hate Earth, man.
Again.
I hate Earth.
I mean, really? Because he was beat up. You know what I'm saying? The same medal, the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his bravery, the same medal that Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, and Big Balls. And you want me to take these motherfuckers seriously?
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else happening this week, Miracle?
Let's land this plane and get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, so, well, you know, you can go to One Hit Media's Instagram. We got a bunch of stuff on there to let you know. Happy birthday, hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hip hop. On a serious note, we do want to send our condolences to the Walker family. This week, a 5-year-old boy with autism unfortunately lost his life, and his mom has been such a huge advocate in the autism community, but also the disability community overall. And so we're talking about fighting for policies that make life accessible. We're talking about people who are most marginalized, and so we do want to give our prayers and our thoughts to the Walker family at this time.
And condolences to the steel workers that lost their lives in Pittsburgh or outside of the city. We had a U.S. steel plant explosion. 2 steel workers were killed, 10 were injured. So definitely sending our condolences out to those steel workers that were killed. And what type of environmental or what happens there? Are there going to be any type of things put in place to prevent stuff like this from happening? As what we hope comes out of this tragedy. So with that being said, final words, Miracle.
Love yourself. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Farouk?
Don't worry, this is part of the furniture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Men, remember, protect your big balls. Peace. It's One Hood, y'all.